This is a resume review of a software engineering intern. Their ratio is 75-1, which for software engineer interns in particular is not good, but it's not bad. I want to be very clear. It is very tough to get internships. It's very competitive, and a 1 to 75 is like a C-. You pass barely, but even with a phenomenal resume, it's rare that you're going to get a 1 to 20, 1 in 10 ratio for a software engineer intern. So this person said they are preparing for a career fair and they're looking for advice on what to omit and expand upon, as well as general advice. Got it. So the first thing I can let you know is I don't know a lot about career fairs. Every single time I was scheduled to do one, layoffs happened at my company, or alternatively, the career fair was canceled. So the only thing I can tell you about what to do at a career fair is that if I am a recruiter in your company and there is a career fair, prepare your resume, because apparently that's bad luck for me. I have no idea why, but what we're going to be looking for is basic knowledge of tech stack, so language, library, the other thing I'm forgetting about off the top of my head, SQL, cloud, that kind of stuff. Not a ton, just a little bit. Framework, that was it. So those are just the things we're going to be looking for, along with the ability to work with others and take direction and criticism. So let's begin. So first off, your formatting is not ideal. Not the worst. Again, there are levels of bad in resume, and formatting is about 40% of your overall grade. So you can still pass if you have a bad formatting, as long as it's not abysmal formatting. This should be one line. I think you can fit it there. Again, there doesn't need to be all these lines, and there's way too much bolding. I don't know why everybody keeps bolding everything. It makes it harder to read. So portfolio, that's fine. My portfolio website created using React and Next.js, allowing for a smooth UI design. I mean, I don't know if I need a smooth UI, but I'd like a little bit more. Like if you used JavaScript. Yes, I know JS stands for JavaScript, but JS doesn't always mean the JavaScript that we think. It's weird. And then TypeScript, create components and hosted the site in Microsoft Azure. That's actually pretty solid. Created a .NET C# application to help structure and organize tasks throughout the day. Utilize this is the second time I've ever seen MVVM, responsive UI, and SQL in Azure. Again, this is not bad. Actually, this is relatively solid. This stuff is kind of hurting you, and the bolding is making it hard. But overall, this is not a bad resume. Let's see. This doesn't really have anything I need in it. Yeah, nothing here I have in it. Oh, you know what? No, here. Worked in a team of 5. Again, I need... Okay, so here's kind of my issue. These are actually formatted okay, and these have the correct keywords. So I'd like a teeny bit more, but overall still very solid. The problem I am having, though, specifically, is that you're not telling me enough. Because this is a perfect, right here, this is a perfect sentence to expand upon. You need to tell me more. I know these are projects, and you may be like, well, they're not huge, big things, but that's okay. They don't need to be. This is a perfect opportunity to put how you work together, because utilizing Trello to communicate and organize. Okay, did you do what happens when you were wrong? Did you hash it out? In fact, there are no keywords I need here, but you could kind of switch this entire thing about how you worked as a team to code this thing. So, which is impressive, especially because you got 2K unique players on Roblox, which I think I know enough about video games to know that actually is kind of impressive. So I need a little bit more here, and I think you can just move this into how you took criticism, how you worked with your teammates. I want more stuff. This stuff is okay again, but yeah, so fix the formatting, add how you work together, add a little bit more of the code stuff here. I think you may be getting, that will give you like a 1 in 50, 1 in 40, 1 in 45. So again, not bad. I don't think this is like a terrible resume or anything. It's just, it's highly competitive. So, like, if being a software engineer intern was as competitive as being an accountant, this would be getting like a 1 in 15 ratio. So, but it's not, unfortunately. It's very competitive. So, let's go to the next resume. And before we do, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, I know that's a thing I have to say, but it really, really, really does help me out, even if the comment is just like. And if you need more help, check out my Twitch below. I am going to be live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. PST. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a senior mobile full stack architect. So, I think I know what you were trying to do. Also, that question mark was what you put in. What you said was you remade your original resume using my template, which good. They primarily do contract work and have been a remote worker since 2015. Primary expertise is iOS, but they're focusing on augmented reality devices. However, they often need backend systems for cloud. So they're not sure how to list this type of experience, essentially being a full stack iOS developer. And they are also a digital nomad, as they currently live outside the US but are a US citizen and would prefer doing US hours. So there's a lot here. Formatting, couple of errors, not major, I want to be clear. This should be one line. This needs a space between employment and this needs to be italicized. This needs to be italicized. This needs to be italicized. So the first thing you're going to need to do, and I think I see this problem, is you're going to need 2 or 3 resumes, right? I looked up senior mobile full stack dev jobs. I didn't really find those. I found full stack, I found architect, and I found mobile, but I didn't really find the combined ones. So what you may need is just to split this into 2 or 3 resumes, right? So like this stuff would be your first sentence on another resume, but wouldn't be in your iOS resume. While this stuff would be good in the iOS one, and then maybe for the Arc Kit or whatever the other one was, a third. So you shouldn't make this into a singular resume because it sort of dilutes what it's going for. So that is what I would suggest you do, is just to split it off. In regards to the digital nomad stuff, that is really tough. So this is not resume, and this is kind of the advice I usually give on my stream, but this is a good opportunity to do it. So the biggest issue with this is taxes. This is why you see a lot of jobs that say remote in X or Y city. Some of the time they want you to come in, but a lot of the time it's due to taxes. So the biggest issue you're going to find with this is a company that would accept a fully remote person may not actually be able to pay you a US salary. So you basically have to use your home address. And again, this goes beyond the recruitment side. I want to be clear. I don't know the taxes of this, and please consult with an accountant. I do not want you to do anything wrong based on what I say, but your best bet from what I know is to just put a single location in the US, but you're still going to have to fill it out for like the I-9 and no, it's not the I-9, it's the W-2 form is still going to have to show. So I think you need to put whatever you would put on the W-2, but this goes beyond recruiting. So again, that is going to be your biggest issue is taxes. And nowadays, a lot of companies, if they can pay you outside the US, they will pay you in the currency or the rate outside the US. So you need to apply to those jobs quickly and hope they'll allow you to do that. But whatever you're able to put on your W-2, I think is what you're going to need to put. So formatting wise, again, pretty good. And I'm not going too much into the details because it's kind of 2 or 3 resumes. But from what I remember of iOS devs, this is pretty solid. So you're just going to need to fine tune it a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of all I can really say on this one. Because the digital nomad stuff is becoming, as far as I'm aware, less and less physically able to do it. Typically, companies want you to be in a certain state. So you're going to have to go based on your W-2. And again, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. So that advice is not rock solid. That is just my best guess of what you should do. Please check with somebody. I do not want to give somebody advice that would be very bad. So that's the best I can do on this resume. And again, I want everybody to look at how this looks like, because this is very clean and easy to read. This is why I like this formula. So, and all they're really missing is the italicized stuff here and a small space here and single here. And that's not even a huge deal. So, but that's all I can really do in this resume. Let's go to the next. We have a software engineer. So they specifically said backend, and the very first thing I see is Python. So I'm going to assume this is a Python backend software engineer. Hopefully I'm correct about that. This person has a 1 to 75 ratio, and they just graduated, which again isn't bad. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad. That's like a C-. It's still passing. Because they've gotten 1 to 2 interviews, and they've been searching for about a month and a half, and any feedback would be appreciated. So yeah, first thing is you sent this as a JPEG. I don't know if you just sent it to me as a JPEG, but if you send a JPEG, not a lot of ATSs will actually be able to parse that. Some can, some don't. So make sure it's a PDF. PDF is safest. So that is one thing that may go wrong. And then let's see if you have the stuff for a Python. So Python, SQL, Docker, Kubernetes, Django, Cloud, RESTful API, Agile, and a bonus for full stack. So develop Python. Also, your formatting is off. Again, please use my formatting. You can see it in the previous one. Even though that wasn't exactly correct, it still shows how clean it is and it's easier to read. So please use that formatting. Because again, this should be one line and not bolded. None of this should be bolded at all, but not a huge deal. So let's see the actual stuff. So developed a Python entity resolution packet using scikit-learn, implementing a modular API to standardize entity match or 30% accurate. Okay, standardized SQL, PL. Okay, we have so far we actually have Python API and SQL, which is good. ETL, I see that sometimes. I would keep it in, but it's not a common one. CI/CD, pandas can be it. So do I see any cloud? I see Azure right down here. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna base this on the fact that I don't think this is a terrible resume. I think you can probably, what you do need is a summary for people that are not coders, because this makes sense. Configured and monitored 15 plus security alerts in Azure, but I also want a little bit more of this. So Azure DevOps is fine, but I'm only really seeing IAC is okay too. I'm seeing a couple, right? This is why you're getting some interviews and why you're missing some. So first off, it's rough to search for your first job. That's always going to be the hardest search you will ever have in your life. Secondly, we want a little bit more keywords here, right? I have the SQL, which is good. I have the Skigit, which is okay. But I'd like maybe some Django or Kubernetes or Docker. Again, you don't need all of them, but a few of them. And then I want this to make sense to somebody who has no idea what to do in tech. Because this, I have recruited for tech. I cannot code myself. Again, I have a bachelor's in psych, and coding I cannot do. So, but I filled plenty of roles. So developed a Python entity resolution using scikit-learn, implementing a modular standard entity map workflows, blah, blah, blah. That's going to burn out the brain of the non-technical person. It's good because you have Python. It's good because you have scikit-learn and API, but I want this to be understandable. Keep the same keywords. Add maybe a little bit more keywords to this whole thing, and then this should just be a better summary sentence. And then if you fix the formatting and add some more keywords to here, mainly the language that you used, I think you will be fine. Because it already seems like you're getting interviews. It already seems like you're doing stuff. We just want to, what is the cooking one? They want to take it to the next level, right? That's all we want to do here. So that felt weird saying that, but this is a C-, and I want to take it to a B+. And changing those things would move it to a B+. Yeah, that's kind of all I'm missing, because this stuff needs to be... So it's basically formatting, and then you're missing a little bit about the keywords. But again, not bad. I don't want you to think like, terrible. This is getting you interviews. We just want it to get you more interviews. So let's move to the next resume. This is a resume of a DevOps engineer. I don't know why this is right there in front of me. So what we're going to be looking for is a lot. CL pipelines, DevOps, SQL, Cloud, multitask, multiple projects, Python, Bash, Ruby, PowerShell. You don't need all of those, but you need a few of them. Jenkins, GitLab, CI/CD, Azure, DevOps, infrastructure as code, IAC, and tools of that, such as Terraform, CloudFormation, and Ansible, along with Kubernetes. There are probably more, truthfully, but this person has not had any luck, so they redid their resume, which is good because now it looks good formatting wise. This should be in bullet points, but beyond that, it's okay. So let's see if they actually have. Oh, also, this should be italicized, and this should be moved a little bit further to the right. Also, you do not need this 11 months thing. That's okay. So we have Azure. That's good. Let's see. Developed Azure Terraform. We have Azure. Okay. We have Azure. Okay. I'm starting to see a problem. Multiple languages. C++, Python. That's okay. Members on the Terraform. That is okay. Terraform. Compliance for framework development practice and for BDT shift for Azure. Okay. Again, Azure. So this is probably the problem. Also, again, this needs to be italicized. So, in this entire thing, I found two things I wanted. One was Azure, which was good. That's important. And the other was C, Node, JS, Python, and Golang. But if you look here, that's good that we have Python, but nothing else. I think I saw DevOps somewhere, right? I don't know if I even saw DevOps, actually. Did I see DevOps? No, it's way at the bottom under there. So, part of this problem is they don't know you're a DevOps engineer. Because they don't see anything saying DevOps. They also don't see CL pipelines. We don't see any SQL. I might have missed SQL, but I don't see it off the top of here. I don't see SQL. I do see cloud, which is good. I help mentor teams. That's fine. Custom role is fine. I don't see how you multitask, which can be important, and I don't see infrastructure as code. I only saw Terraform. So you're missing a lot of these, and that's kind of the problem. Is I don't see enough here. I only see Azure. And the reason you're not getting DevOps engineer positions is the recruiter is going to look at this and be like, oh, okay, lead infrastructure engineer. And then they're not going to see anything about DevOps here. They're not going to see any of the keywords they're looking for besides maybe Python and Azure, which is good, but you can use Azure for other stuff. So they don't know you're a DevOps engineer. And that's probably your problem, why you're not getting any luck with it. And if I go down, I still don't see it. I don't see anything you've done with the word DevOps. I know that sounds crazy, but like you ask 12 engineers what DevOps are and you get 15 different answers. So I need to see specifically CL pipelines. Those were in a lot of them. I need to see DevOps. I need to see SQL. You have cloud. That's good. Keep the cloud. That's good. But to the Azure. But I don't even see Azure DevOps. I don't see infrastructure as code. I only saw Terraform. I know those can kind of be the same, but just put infrastructure as code, ISC such as Terraform. I don't see Kubernetes. I only see Python. I don't see one or two of these. You need a little bit more than just Python. You don't need all four of these, but at least two. I don't see how you multitask. So that's your problem, is your title is not giving off the impression of a DevOps engineer. And specifically, your experience is not giving up a DevOps engineer. And if a recruiter is not going to find it in this, and then they're going to look here and they're not going to see it, it doesn't matter. They're not going to go past that, right? Like, you may have stuff here. They're not going to see that. Yeah, they're not going to go that far down. So, italicize this. These should be in bullet points. Italicize this. And then we really need the keywords. The formatting is not the issue here, all right? This is a keyword issue. I don't see that you are a DevOps person. And you can rail on me in the comments as much as you want, but it's not showing up. And the fact that you have 150 to 1 or no interviews after 300, which is I think what you said, showcases that is the issue. This is a keyword and qualification issue, less so than a formatting issue. It's good that you have the formatting. This is good formatting, but there's a reason I say formatting is 40% of your grade. Is if you have the best formatting ever, but not the right bullet points, it's not going to pass. So your formatting is fantastic. That's great. Just a couple of quick tweaks, but we need these bullet points. I need Git, I need CI/CD, I need Jenkins, I need infrastructure as code, I need CL pipelines, I need the word DevOps. I want the word DevOps in multiple places here. right? This is the most important part of your resume by far. I want some DevOps here. So that's all I could really give to this one. And I do want you to get a position, but this is a bullet point problem and a keyword and qualification issue, not a formatting issue. So, and if you can look on a bunch of different DevOps engineer positions that are going to have those keywords. Not all of them, but you need to meet about 75% of them, especially the word DevOps. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a junior software engineer. They said they're an international student that graduates in June, and they will then transition to a 2-year work visa. It says you have a 1 in 25 ratio. That's fantastic. Like, if you actually have a 1 in 25 ratio, amazing. Absolutely amazing. If that's not correct, then we're going to have issues. But so what we're going to be looking for is going to depend. I need to know what kind of software engineer you are, because front end, back end, full stack all have different stuff. So let's see if I can figure it out. Spearheaded a cross-functional agile team to manage over Jira tickets, achieving on-time delivery. Okay, that says what I need. Collaborate on the integration of cloud services, AWS APIs. That's fine. Capabilities, ensuring COH compliance. Okay, these are not terrible. I just need more keywords. And it does seem that you are in Sydney, where is this? I think this is Australia? New Zealand? Yeah, this is Australia. So I'm not an Australian recruiter. I don't know what the job market is in Australia for this. Would this pass in the United States? Probably not. The AWS is solid. The Agile is solid. It basically just needs these down here. So how I would at least switch this, if you were applying in the US, which again, you're not, so it might change things, is switch this up top from the skills section, add these skills to here, and here, and here, and fix the formatting. I know that's not a lot, but like, it also may be the case that you don't need it. It may be that this is a good resume in Sydney, in which case keep that. I'm not a Sydney recruiter. I don't know what Sydney does every night. I don't know what she does. I don't keep track with Sydney. We're not really friends. I think I'd be cool to be a friend with Cindy, but or Sydney. But anyway, that joke's run its course. So I need more. I think it's good that you have AWS. I think it's good that you have API. It's good that you have Agile. Those are solid. I just need to know what stack you are. In fact, I would be interested in a little test of if you fix the formatting, add these to here, and then moved your education up top, apply with both of these resumes and see if my resume would be better in Sydney, Australia. Because again, it may not be. It may be the case of in Sydney, Australia, this is a better resume than mine because I'm a United States-based recruiter. So I don't know. And I wish I could give you more solid advice, but that is the problem of sort of doing this cross-continentally, is sometimes things don't translate. So that's what I would suggest, and then see which one works. Because if this is really getting you 1 to 25, that's good. You may not even need to change it. But if you change it and then you get even more, it'll be even better. So let me know. I'd be interested to see, comment on this video after you fixed it and send it out to see if my formatting is better in Australia or if this is the way to do it. But that'll be it for this video, not the stream. I am still streaming. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need more help, come on my stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. PST. And I look forward to helping you there. Bye.